So today we're going to learn how to divide polynomials. Today we're going to use only long division. We're going to learn synthetic division tomorrow. So to use long division with polynomials, you're going to, step one, write it as you would a regular long division problem. So right here in the middle is what it would look like. So the x plus 2 is the divisor, and the x squared plus 3x minus 1 is the dividend. That's what's being divided by the x plus 2. So to do this, we kind of just have the same cycle we normally do when we do long division, except we've got two terms out front, so things are going to look a little bit differently. So I've got to figure out what I need to multiply x by so that I can get x squared. We know that x times x is x squared, so x is what goes on top because when I multiply it by the information out front, it's going to give me that x squared I'm looking for. So first step, we're going to multiply x times x to get x squared. What's really new for this is because we have this plus 2, it also has to get multiplied by whatever we write on top, so plus 2x.
So you're just taking the first whatever is there
Mm-hmm.
on top of multiplying it.
You have to, well, so we picked this x because x, when I multiply these together, they have to give me the first term. Oh, it is not working. There we go. So whatever the first term multiplies by to give you the first term inside. And then whatever that happens to be, in this case, x times x gives us that x squared. That goes up top, and then we multiply it by the two terms out front. And normally there'll just be two terms out front. And then we multiply the two terms out front. Then the tricky part here, we have to subtract. My suggestion is to always just change this to addition and change the two signs that follow. So change that to plus and then change it to negative x squared and negative 2x. A lot of times students will subtract, but they'll only subtract the first term because that's going to cancel, but they won't subtract the second term. So in this case, when I subtract them, the negative x squared and the x squared cancel. The 3x and the negative 2x or minus 2x gives me x or 1x. And then we're going to bring down the next term, minus 1. So really what we've done is just simplified. We've taken an x out of the original. Only the first two terms, but. Then we're going to repeat the process, but now our first term is this here. So what do I have to multiply x by to get x? Positive 1. So now I'm going to take the 1 and I'm going to multiply it. When I multiply it, I got to multiply it by both terms sitting out front. So when I do that, I'm going to get x plus 2. And again, that's subtraction. So I'm going to go ahead, change the signs on both of them. So x minus x cancels. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Once you get down to a constant, this is going to be your remainder. We no longer write, like sometimes you'll see r is negative 3. Like for your remainder, we don't write it like that in Algebra 2. If it's a negative, we're going to write minus out at the end, and then we're just going to say, hey, 3 never got divided by x plus 2. So that's how you write your remainder in this class. Whatever the number is goes up top, whatever you're dividing by goes on the bottom. So this actually right here is my answer. So when I took x squared plus 3x minus 1 and I divided it by x plus 2, we got x plus 1 minus 3 divided by x plus 2, because that 3 never got divided by the x plus 2. Let's try another one. So we're going to take x squared plus x minus 15, and we're going to divide it this time by x minus 2. So see if you can set up your problem. Again, you're setting it up just like you would a regular division problem. Once you get it written down, you're going to ask yourself, what do you have to multiply this first term by to get the first term inside? So x times what will give you x squared? So what multiplies by this to give you this? So x times x will give me x squared. So up top, I'm going to write x. And then I'm going to multiply both terms out front by the x I wrote on top. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. And then be careful, again, we're going to subtract. We want to subtract both terms, so I'm going to distribute that, which gives me a negative x squared and a positive 2x. So when I add straight down, my x squareds cancel. X plus 2x is 3x. And then bring down the next term, minus 15. Then we're going to repeat our process all over again. So what do I have to take x by to get 3x? 3. So I'm going to put a positive 3 up top because we're going to multiply by a positive 3. And then I've got to take that positive 3 and multiply it by both terms out front. So both terms out here get multiplied by 3 and go underneath. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6.
Say that again, the last one, I got the 6.
I took the 3 times, whoops, the 2 up here. So once you write that number up top, it's got to get multiplied by both of these terms here.
Oh, okay.
Like the biggest mistake is leaving out that 3 times the negative 2 to get that negative 6. Then again, we're going to subtract. I always suggest that you distribute that negative. So negative 3x and a positive 6 now. Negative 3x and positive 3x cancel. Negative 15 plus 6 is negative 9. Now that we're down to the constant, just a regular number, that's when we go up and we write our remainder. We want to write minus because it's a negative 9. Then we're going to make a fraction. The 9 goes on top, and 9 was never divided by the x minus 2. So that's how we're writing our remainder. 9 divided by x minus 2, and then this whole top portion right here is my final answer. So sometimes I have students who rewrite them x plus 3 minus 9 divided by x minus 2. You can rewrite it, but you don't have to. As long as your work's organized enough that I could see your answer. Box it, circle it. Questions on this one? We're going to do a harder one next. Not really harder, just more steps. So for the next one, we've gone to x to the third as our first term. We've got an extra term, which just means we're going to have to repeat the cycle one more time. So we're going to take the 12x to the third plus 5x squared plus 6x minus 10, and we're going to divide it by 4x minus 1. Phew, excuse me. I think you only have one that's this long on your assignment. And you'll only ever see one of these on your test from now until ever. So to start off, we have to figure out what we have to multiply the first term by to get the first term inside. So I've got to figure out 4x times what will give me 12x to the third. So 4 times what gives me 12? 3. X times what will give me x to the third? How many x's are missing? 2. So 3x to the second power goes on top. Once I write that on top, whatever I write on top has to be multiplied by both terms sitting out front. So I'm going to take 3x squared times 4x. That'll give me 12x to the third. 3x squared times negative 1 is negative 3x squared. Then we have a subtraction problem. Again, distribute that to both terms. So 12x to the third minus 12x to the third cancels. 5x squared plus 3x squared gives me 8x squared. It was minus, and then we distributed the negative to make it positive. Because whatever you write on that second line there, it gets subtracted. So it's like a minus sitting in front of parentheses here, I guess, that we distributed.
Oh, makes sense.
Sorry, I should have put parentheses on it, I guess.
No, you're fine. It was just messing me up when
It changed positive, yep. Then we're going to repeat the cycle, but first we're going to bring down the next term, plus 6x. We're not going to worry about bringing down the minus 10 just yet. So we just brought down the 6x, then we're going to repeat our cycle. What do I have to multiply the first term by to get the first term? So 4 times 2, positive 2, gives me 8, and x times x would give me x squared. So 2x goes up top because 2x times 4x will give me the 8x squared that I'm looking for. But then I also have to take the 2x times the negative 1, which gives me negative 2x. We're going to distribute the negative inside to the the 8x squared and the minus 2x, which now gives me a positive 2x and the negative 8x squared. My negative 8x squared and my positive 8x squared cancel. 6x plus 2x gives me positive 8x, and now we can bring down the minus 10. Remember, we've got to keep working until we get to a constant. Ask yourself, what do you have to multiply 4x by to get 8x? Just 2, because the x is already there. So 4 times 2 gives me 8, x times nothing, well, x times 1 will just give me x. So I don't have to worry about the x's because they're the same exponents. So 2 times 4x gives me 8x. 2 times negative 1 gives me negative 2. Distribute that negative, we now have a negative 8x and a positive 2. Negative 8x and positive 8x cancel. When I add negative 10 plus 2, that gives me my remainder of negative 8. I know it's the remainder because it's a constant. It's just a number by itself. Then I'm going to go up and write my remainder in my problem. So it's minus, I'm going to write minus, and then my fraction 8 goes on top. 8 never got divided by the 4x minus 1. That right there is my final answer. So 3x squared plus 2x plus 2 minus 8 divided by 4x minus 1. Questions on this one? So it's the same cycle as you normally would long division.